We're very pleased to see a very high level of cooperation between the Peshmerga forces and the Iraqi security forces. Since those forces attacked at dawn on Monday, they've made a significant amount of progress in moving toward Mosul, and they've liberated many villages. So this is good progress, and we're very pleased to see it. So far, they've seen light to moderate resistance, and they've been able to continue moving. It's very difficult to predict how long it'll take to liberate Mosul, but we will continue to provide our coalition airstrikes to attack Daesh command and control, to attack their leaders, to attack the explosives that they use in order to try and stop the advance of the Iraqi security forces in the Peshmerga. We believe that the Iraqis are going to be successful in liberating Mosul and raise the flag in the center of the city. Well, the Peshmerga have been very important. They've played a very important role in this liberation battle. And what they've done is they've pushed their forward line of troops towards the city in order to stop Daesh from trying to disrupt the forces that will go into the city. My understanding is that the Iraqi security forces, their army and their police will go into the city while the Peshmerga forces continue to disrupt Daesh around the city. Well, the international coalition is here with the permission of and is cooperating with the government of Iraq and the government of the Kurdish regional government. So this is the government of Iraq will make the determination who will participate in the liberation of Mosul. We're here with their permission, and we believe that any force that's here to fight terrorism should be here with the permission of the government of Iraq as well. Well, the government of Iraq will make the determination what kind of help they need. I know that they're pleased with the help that they're receiving from the international coalition. More than 60 countries from around the world have joined Iraq in helping to liberate this country from Daesh. We've provided airstrikes and intelligence support. We've provided our advice and assistance, and we continue to provide our logistics support to this very important liberation battle. But make no mistake about it, the Iraqi security forces, with their help from the Peshmerga, are the ones who will liberate Mosul. Well, we've provided a tremendous amount of support to the Peshmerga, including paying stipends and arming them and giving them a tremendous amount of equipment. Now, their role is to be on the outskirts of the city, and the Iraqi security forces will go into the city to liberate it. We continue our cooperation with both groups, and we'll continue until Mosul is liberated, and then even after. Because Daesh are a terrorist criminal gang, and they will continue to try to fight in this country, and we will continue to assist until this entire country is free of Daesh. Well, I've seen these reports from Amnesty International. The allegations that are in there are very concerning. Prime Minister Abadi has been very clear that he doesn't want any human rights abuses at all, that there's no tolerance, zero tolerance for human rights abuses in the liberation of Mosul. So there's been a lot of effort put into developing a plan to avoid this problem, and the coalition has been assisting the government of Iraq and the Peshmerga forces in developing this plan. Well, one of the things that we've done is to work very closely with the government of Iraq in developing a plan that takes into consideration the delicate politics around Mosul. And this is a very important dimension of the plan. It's very clear that Prime Minister Abadi understands what's at stake, and that he understands that it's not just important to liberate Mosul, but to liberate it in a manner that sets a reconciliation in motion so that there can be stability in the region afterwards. Well, the protection of civilians is an absolutely essential dimension of the plan that the government of Iraq has developed. We only use precision munitions whenever we do our strikes. So we spend a lot of time evaluating targets and using surveillance before we make the determination that it's appropriate to use a precision strike. By doing this, we can largely avoid civilian casualties. We're very, very careful about this. Well, we've seen varying reports of how many militants are inside of Mosul. For planning factor, we usually use the numbers of 3,000 to 4,500, but we've seen some reports that there are even more. Regardless of the number, we believe that the Iraqi security forces are going to be successful. We've trained more than 54,000 Iraqi security forces and Peshmerga forces for this liberation battle. Many of them will be involved in liberating Mosul, and we think that they're going to have no problems, although it will be a very challenging fight, because Daesh have made very clear that they will try to harm civilians, and they've built elaborate defenses to try and slow the Iraqi advance. ISIS is certainly getting weaker by the day. We have attacked their commanders, we've attacked their ability to do command and control, and we've attacked their weapon systems, and we've attacked their ability to make money from selling oil. So all these things have a cumulative effect on weakening them. And so we've seen them more inclined to run than to fight more recently, but we think that they'll fall back into Mosul and they will try to fight hard in order to retain this city, because they call it their capital in Iraq, and so we think that they'll fight hard, but they're not going to be able to stop the Iraqi security forces from taking the city back. It's very difficult to predict how long the operation will take to liberate Mosul. What we always say is that the enemy gets a vote, and what this means is that if they fight hard, it could take some time. But we've spent a tremendous amount of time developing a very good plan. We've trained the forces to go into an urban environment and fight in a city if it becomes necessary to do so. And the coalition will continue to provide a relentless campaign of airstrikes against Daesh in order to set conditions so that the Iraqi security force will be successful in liberating the city. It's just a matter of time. Daesh will be finished in that city, and that'll be the end of them. Here, the international forces are providing advice and assistance to the Iraqi security forces and the Peshmerga as they advance. So it's not the role of international forces to lead the fight. This is the job for the Iraqi security forces, the Peshmerga, the counterterrorism service, the police. The Iraqis are going to liberate Mosul. Our role is to advise and assist. We provide the logistical support because this is the largest liberation battle to date. But, and then we'll continue to provide our air and artillery strikes so that the Iraqis can advance, and we'll continue to hit the Daesh command and control elements throughout the fight. This has very limited impact. The burning of oil, the burning of tires has very limited impact on the ability of the coalition to use intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance to determine what's happening. Mostly what this does is it harms the civilians who are around that fight, which is something that Daesh do in many of the places where they take root. And this is why they're a terrorist criminal gang, and we have to continue helping the Iraqi security forces advance so that Daesh can be removed from this country entirely. Well, I've seen those reports, as have you. Most of those are Russian propaganda. We're not going to let Daesh get away. Sometimes they can escape by traveling in small numbers, but we'll pursue them anywhere that they go. And if they go to Raqqa, they'll be defeated there instead of in Mosul. Well, we've conducted more than 10,000 strikes against Daesh in this country over the last 2 years. We've done more than 70 strikes in the last 2 weeks, and we do strikes against Daesh every single day. Our forces are relentless. We provide our intelligence support over Mosul and other places in Iraq, and when there's a call for fires, we provide those fires with precision in order to attack Daesh where it's needed. One of the immutable things about air power is no matter how much of this you have, you wish you had more. But we continue to be very effective in attacking Daesh, and we'll keep those strikes going as long as it's necessary. Well, right now the main effort is to liberate Mosul. This may take quite a bit of time, and then the Iraqi government will be in charge of determining when other places like Hawija or Tal Afar or Al Qaim or other places get liberated from Daesh. So this is something that has yet to be determined, but the government of Iraq will make that decision. Well, the government of Iraq is going to make the determination what the way forward is after Daesh is defeated. What we hope as a coalition is that the unprecedented cooperation that's occurred as all these elements come together to defeat Daesh will continue to work together to reestablish stability, to help people return to their homes after having become internally displaced persons, that all the booby traps that Daesh have put in can be removed, and normalcy can return to this country. Well, the government of Iraq is in charge of taking care of internally displaced persons, and they have the support of the international community in the form of the UN and many of the coalition nations. I know my own country has provided a substantial amount, more than $1 billion in resources in order to assist with this problem, and the coalition military effort has assisted the Iraqi security forces as the government of Iraq develops their plan. Well, it's very difficult to predict the timeline for ISIL's ultimate demise. But what we will do is we will continue to be a good partner. Our coalition is here, and the coalition is very strong. The Iraqi security forces, the Peshmerga, all the elements that have come together to defeat Daesh can count on getting coalition support until Daesh is defeated. So this is a very important issue. It's important not just in Iraq and in Syria where Daesh are fighting. It's important around the world because Daesh is a threat to global security. Well, ISIL, Daesh are a terrorist criminal gang. They've conducted many war crimes, and they're guilty of many of these things. They've driven millions of people from their homes. They've killed tens of thousands of people. And if they stand and fight in Mosul, they're going to be killed. If they don't, if some of them surrender, then they'll be dealt with under the laws of Iraq. Well, we don't want to speculate about what will happen after Daesh is defeated. Defeating Daesh is a large task, and it requires all of our attention and all of our cooperation between the elements who need to fight Daesh. So we'll stay focused on that task and set conditions so that stability can return to Iraq. Well, one of the things that we've been very encouraged by is that the government of Iraq, in cooperation with the Kurdish regional government, has come up with a very good plan with good cooperation, and we think that this is very encouraging. So what we hope to see is that this cooperation will continue until Daesh is ultimately defeated and driven completely from this country. And we will continue to provide our strikes and our military support as this is done.